You're killing me, Smalls.
We making movies, no acting in. I'm fucking Instagram action shit. UPS shipping packages. I'm smoking weed out them packages. If I ain't got a gun, I'm stabbing it. I got some leftover lean in the cabinet. I can hit your little hoe when she happy. Poke on that pussy shit like it's a top in it. We making movies, no acting in. I'm fucking Instagram action shit. UPS doing the packaging. I'm smoking good ass weed out them packages. I can't lie 'cause I ain't capping it.
Welcome back to the DNA podcast. It's your boy D.
It's your boy Antonio. Let's get to it.
This week we're going to redo our episode Conspiracies. Well, I guess Conspiracies Part 3.
Part 3 is Conspiracies.
Conspiracies Part 2 was kind of weak, but we got y'all. We got you on this. We got some solid ones.
We got some fire coming up.
Should we just hop straight into it, or should we let it build? Should we start on something kind of small and work our way up?
Well, before we get into it, let's remind the folks back at home to like, comment, and subscribe, and make sure that they check out our YouTube channel.
We're on the road to 100.
Yeah,
Hashtag road to 100.
It's slow going, but it's going.
You gotta let that beat build.
But back to the scheduled programming. Yeah, I think we should start off a little more tame, and then get wild. So, you want to go first?
You go first.
All right. First conspiracy. JFK, MLK, and Malcolm X. They all were assassinated by the U.S. government. And we all pretty much know this as fact. Now, the U.S. government's never come out and say that. But that's why I figured this was a more tamed one. Because it's a conspiracy that we all kind of know.
It's no real arguments.
There's no arguments against it. But I guess we'll start with MLK. The FBI had been trying to dig up dirt on MLK for his whole movement. And they found good dirt on him, actually, but trying to get him to kill himself, trying to get him to do lots of different things to basically get him to shut up.
They pretty much I think they tried to call him like a sex addict.
He kind of, all your great heroes have a dark side.
Hey.
I'm just saying, not to.
We men, we hunt, we kill, we sex, and we repeat.
Not to diminish this man's great work, but he was not faithful to his wife. That is proven. That's not up for debate. But at the same time, that does not make him any less of a good man.
Yeah.
Everybody got their flaws. But that's basically proven that not proven. It's known that FBI was out to get Malcolm X, not Malcolm X, Martin Luther King. Jesus Christ. But that's known fact. Malcolm X was a straight up. It's just straight up assassination.
Sold out.
Yeah, he was sold out by his own people, but that's pretty much proven too that he was a setup.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then JFK, he was doing shit with Malcolm X. Didn't they got to?
I tell people this all the time. I know the government's involved when it doesn't make sense. If a random person just assassinated JFK, that's cool, and then he booked somebody, but then he got killed, and the guy who killed him ended up dying of something, and then it was just like the trail just ended there. But like we know, he was involved in other stuff. Too complicated. That's how I know it's higher powers involved.
But also the thing with JFK is like, there's all these theories about like how the bullet hit him, and it the grassy knoll theory where the shooter was actually on the hill next to the road,
mm-hmm.
or was he up in the building where they found
Oswald.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the name I had in my head, but I couldn't. George
Lee Harvey.
Yeah. See, I knew it was Harvey something, but or was it him up in the building? I think the answer is there was two shooters.
100% believe
And
it.
they roped in a crazy guy to look like he did it.
Because I'm going to be completely honest with you. The Lee Harvey Oswald, shooting is shooting, but he doesn't look sane enough to have hit him point blank. I know some people would argue, what type of logic is that? But it's the way that was a clear shot hits, and it's just he didn't look sane enough to even put that plan together.
Yeah. Like it also, like, how did he get access to the building?
Mm-hmm.
How did he know exactly where the route was going to take? How did he know? Like, that's a lot of planning.
Yep.
Not saying that it can't be done. And, I don't know what the Secret Service what their plans were then, but I know what the plans are like now. Cuz sometimes my dad does details for people like that.
Mm-hmm.
That shit, they do not let anybody near high buildings near events like that. That just doesn't happen. Now, I don't know if that rule went into effect afterwards.
And my time period is different from his, but when Trump came to Charlotte, this was before COVID, and I was working at my job. We needed pretty much access to get back and forth to our buildings, and we work in every day just to show that we're supposed to be there, and this and that, and we were told, don't bring any like weed or anything. No, don't bring anything in the cars because they were stopping and searching. So it was like, mind you, like this is like 40 years after. So maybe all this happened because of that. Like
Could have been.
I'm about to say I live in a different time period, but
I don't know. A lot of presidents have been assassinated before then, and they didn't come up with these plans before that. I don't know.
But like we don't know if they had it or not because hell, how would if you didn't work uptown when Trump came, you wouldn't know that they went through those precautions in Charlotte.
I did just because of my background, but I guess my parents' background.
Yeah,
But
yeah. To narrow it to your point, but to narrow it down for me, whenever it's too many questions and too many this and that, it's somebody high ranking and I pin it on the government. Same with Malcolm X.
it's either the government or somebody rich. Choose.
You can lead to he was beefing with the Nation of Islam, but like the setup of two brothers fighting in during his meeting, and then just shooting him and then just doing whatever, and they didn't even have real reasons. So like I don't know. I think this is what I say about beef. This is the dark side of beef. Besides killing each other in the beef, the dark side of beef is it gives opportunity to the other people who don't like you. It makes an easy scapegoat. I say this jokingly, but like Kanye West versus Pete Davidson, if somebody don't like Pete Davidson, this is their chance to knock him off because Kanye is giving him every reason for him to be public enemy number one. And that's just what, like, he's literally depicted videos of killing him. So if somebody do not like Pete Davidson, this is your time. You're going to get away with it. And like that's just the fact of beef.
Yeah.
And I know it's fucked up, but that's your opportunity to get them because it's easy depending on Elijah Muhammad. But as highly respected as he was, and how important he was to Islam at the time, I don't see the benefit of him sending a hit out because like Malcolm X was gonna convert from Islam, but like that wasn't gonna fucking end Islam. Like that wasn't going to.
That wouldn't destroy your movement. If anything, knocking him off would make your religion, your movement look bad.
Yeah,
like, that would make y'all look bad.
So that's why I was like, that's government. The government, like we know that the government wanted to knock Malcolm X off. Like for sure. Like we know that. So
I think that was Harvard Hoover who was the director of the FBI at the time, if I remember correctly. And he didn't like anybody. He was digging up dirt on celebrities. He was blackmailing everybody, like any and everybody who can possibly get dirt on. He was getting dirt on them. So, that's a very dark time in U.S. history that no one ever wants to talk about. But
Funny thing is that dark time lasted longer than what anybody wants to talk about. Because we'll go into mines that I thought of. Have two major ones, but I couldn't come up with a small one. The assassination of Biggie and Tupac was government conspiracies.
oh yeah, for sure.
And I say that we know Tupac was killed, and we could talk about all the conspiracies with that. Goes to my point. There's so much stuff that goes on. Government, it's too many avenues, too many closed doors. Government, or somebody high ranking did something, and did Biggie Smalls guy get caught? No, no. Government.
Biggie and Tupac's murderers never got caught.
And the niggas out here finding fucking DNA evidence murders of 1960, but the niggas who did that got scot fucking free.
Yeah.
But people don't know when Tupac was locked up before he was visited by Suge Knight. He was visited by a government official. I don't know what position he was exactly. I think he was an officer. Because, when they say rap police, this was a real thing. And they are the ones that provided evidence that Biggie Smalls was dissing him. This is where Tupac got in his mind that Biggie Smalls was the one that Who Shot You was about him. Somehow this has been lost to history, but he says it in that infamous... I don't know how fucking long this interview was when he was in jail and he had hair on his head.
Oh, yeah.
But... he discussed it then, and this gets lost, but that's the spark. And many people close to them admits that there was people before, white people. Don't know why the government don't send black people to do biddings like this.
Because even though a lot of black people will sell you up the river,
yeah,
a lot of us don't do it. You know what I'm saying?
True. I say if I see a white guy at a rap concert in a suit, that nigga up to no good. I don't care.
Either he's security or he's up to no good.
But plenty of testimonies that came out that both Biggie and Tupac was visited by these officials, police officers. I can't get the official title, but to my head, these are true rap police. These are the true feds influencing rap music, which led to their deaths. And with everything with Tupac that people can't even figure out, was it Suge, this and that? We know but Suge got shot in the shooting, so if he's the hitman, he's a dumbass hitman, or maybe the smartest because he could get away with it.
Yeah.
Was it Diddy? There was some evidence to Diddy being the hitman, and that nigga Diddy a dark nigga deep down. Ain't no need to get into that nigga. that nigga cold blooded. Ain't no need to talk about that nigga. But then there's footage. Somehow there's footage of when they beat up this gang member in this hotel. Not somehow, but there's no footage whatsoever of like the cars being shot at or like the license plate or before. Somehow they conveniently have this footage of Tupac and his entourage beating up a Crip because Suge Knight is a well-known blood. And so many point to it's easy. It was the Crip. He went and got his folks and fired off on him. Well, why can't that be proven? If that is literally the easiest case, why could y'all have not proven that?
And you tell me none of these niggas fucking bragged about that in 30 years?
That's my main issue. Like,
none of them niggas were like, yeah, I killed that nigga.
Whoever knocked off Biggie and Tupac would have been talking about that bitch to the end of time. I promise you. That's how I know no nigga in the hood did it. That's how I... But it goes deeper because in a song off Tupac's first posthumous,
mortem. Whatever. Yeah.
I was gonna say, you never hear that bitch out loud. Like, I swear to God, you never. In a song, you can hear him say quickly, Suge shot me. And to get deep, just go down the last line of Conspiracy, one of the outlaws, I can't think of his name, but in Tupac's group, he was the outlaws, Gaddafi. He said he knew who killed Tupac, and he was ready to do an interview. But the week before he was supposed to do the interview, he was killed by mysterious means, and the killer's never been caught. So the guy who knew that killed Tupac got killed under mysterious means, and he was not really famous by any means. It's what Junior Mafia was to Biggie Smalls. When he was gone, they were nothing. So, like, he wasn't really a person of interest unless he knew something that other people did not know. So it's funny that, and the trail stops, like, it just ends there. And so It's too many motives. It's how is there a motive for Diddy to do it, and there's evidence that he could have if he did not do it. If that makes sense, you can't have evidence that you did something you did not do. Like, I know that's weird, but all that seems kind of.
I mean, but there can always be circumstantial evidence. You know what I'm saying? Just because I was in the city when someone got shot doesn't mean necessarily, and we were beefing doesn't mean it was me that did it.
True.
It just happened that it happened on the same night.
Yeah.
And there could be other reasons why. But
before you continue, I thought I also missed out on a big part of the evidence that this won't be talked about now because the news have covered it up. But Tupac wasn't pronounced dead at first. He was pronounced very alive. He was pronounced, he was in good health. The surgery went well, this or that. Mm-hmm. And after 7 days, he's pronounced dead, which is also funny. In the song, it references 7 days. And it's called Bomb First, my second reply. And he references so many to 7 days, 7 days. Hell, he could be alive for all we know. Like, it's too much coincidence just leading.
Yeah. I was going to say that about, I was going to bring it up. It's like, he was, if he actually is dead.
Yeah.
If he was doing good, the surgery went well, he's recovering, and that's how it's being reported. The likelihood of him actually like dying after, I mean, it could always happen, of course. There could always be complications that they didn't catch. Mm-hmm. But like that sounds like a fucking hit. It sounds like they came into the room and put something in the ID.
Yeah,
it just sounds like,
because I listened to old clips and they were in great spirits. Like he's gonna recover and be 100%, but then like just 3 days later he's tragically died. Well, where the hell was the recovery going to take place? What happened between he never even got to the recovery you were talking about.
Yeah.
Before he and this goes into another famous thing. Martin Luther King was not killed by the bullets. To each their own. He was killed by the fucking hospital staff because frankly they just didn't treat him. They killed him there. Mm-hmm. He could have made it, and so. This feeds into what Tupac and Martin Luther King, these two famous examples, feed into what black people already know. We don't trust y'all white folks in any ass. Like a Hippocratic oath. Y'all can take all the oaths y'all want. Y'all can eat oats and oaths. I don't give a damn. He ain't to be trusted. That's why black people don't trust the doctors. Now that's why we die quicker than white folks. Because niggas might check me for a prostate just to fill me up. And I ain't. Nope.
And this is why it's important to have black doctors in the medical industry. Because you're way more likely to trust a doctor that's black if you're black.
True, and plenty of black babies have been aborted that should have made it based off of doctors' recommendations that they wouldn't have done for white people. So, like, this is a known fact that they treat people of color worse.
Differently.
Yeah. Not even different. Worse. I'm okay being treated different if it's equal or better. I'm just being honest.
That's fine. That's hilarious.
But yeah, Tupac was a government job. Biggie was a government job, and it's like I think the world is starting to come to that conclusion. Mm-hmm. But it's just like I don't think people really realize that the government actually intervened because of what rap was doing. Rap was going. I think that they did it because they didn't want rap to be what it is now. It's the pop
music. Yeah,
but
let's say that
it failed. So now we got industry plants.
Your Tekashi 6ix9s.
Your Little Pumps, Lil Xans. They changed course. They know killing off ain't gonna stop the movement, so they just implant it.
Dilute it.
Yep.
Yeah, dilute the sound.
And so, like, and we all know, everybody heard of the rap police. Everybody heard of the feds within music. Like, everybody heard of this. But I don't think it's easy to say don't talk about the bodies that you caught in music. They are listening to you. I don't think it's that nuanced.
Yeah.
I don't. It's not that nuanced. It's they know what's going on and they're trying to influence it for themselves. So I don't know how widely debatable that is. I don't know if most people agree with it and it's known.
I think most people who have looked into it, even a little bit, are like, oh yeah, this is a little shaky.
Yeah.
And another point that we didn't bring up, they didn't start looking for the killer until like a couple days after.
And when the trail was like,
when it was cold.
I was about to say, I watched enough first 48. They literally say after 48 hours. That's when them niggas started at 49 hours. like, what are y'all doing, y'all?
Sounds like you didn't want to find them.
Yeah. So, yep, two biggest rap stars. I think it's clear cut to say the two biggest rap stars ever at that point.
Yeah.
Maybe all time.
They were definitely the biggest at that point.
Yeah, assassinated by the government. After that, I'm turning up the heat. That was my only
go on
with
your next fire one?
I don't want to go too nuclear yet. If y'all know what my last point is, y'all know how bad of a joke that is.
Ooh, you're gonna get that in about 20 minutes.
This is a rehash of my simulation theory. Most people will listen to this and was like, yes, that nigga finally figured out it's not right. You're wrong. wrong. It seems like everything in my life is starting to point out that, yeah, nigga, this is simulated. Go ahead and join us in the database.
Maybe the metaverse is when you exit the simulation.
Bro, that's what I don't get. So niggas will try to question me about damn it being a simulation, but talk to me about fucking hours about this damn metaverse. You know, like be honest.
Bro, the metaverse is just the internet that you can see. I don't understand. You're just playing Roblox.
I was about to say, niggas acting like niggas about to fucking Sword Art Online this bitch. You know, like,
if we were that deep in there, I might consider joining this motherfucker. But I've also watched that anime, so.
Yeah, bro, every fucking rendition of that goes wrong. But simulation theory, for what y'all don't know, is that life is pretty much a giant game of Sims. I've added on, mind you, that I'm probably the nigga fueling the damn thing, but I basically believe that if this is true, we're living all our lives in a matter of hours, and in the simulation controller's hands. So people will be like, so what do they get out of this? They're going to die when we die. No. Our whole life is an hour out in whatever world they're in. Basically like The Sims. Y'all dumbass niggas did what y'all did with The Sims. Y'all set them niggas on fire. Gave them niggas 40 million kids. Y'all know what y'all did.
Guilty.
And so my backbone reasoning now, should have went back to the episode to know what it is then. But coincidence, I have a hard time believing coincidences, but I'd be damned if not since that episode, life has been smacking me across the face with coincidences to the point of where.
Do you ever think maybe you're just noticing them because you're looking for it? Just like when you buy a new car, or like you see, oh, I really like the new Rogue or whatever, and you start seeing that Rogue everywhere. It's because your mind is looking for it.
How about that's a coincidence? How
about maybe it's your mind looking for the situations?
How about that bitch is being simulated for you to see every goddamn time?
I think mine's more.
Well, what I also like about this, and part of me believes it, part of me don't. I would say it's 40-60. 40% of me believes it because there's no way to disprove it. You are easier off disproving Big Bang. Because once again, there's no way you can believe in a God and this Big Bang science and put them two together. It's no way that science has went back that far in time. Now, I'm not knocking somebody that's where you start to believe in, but there's no way to disprove this simulation. Like that's if somebody was like they killed themselves and the simulation does end, they're dead here. They're alive there. There's no completely. You can disagree with it.
I mean, you can always prove it to yourself.
Yeah.
By unaliving yourself, you could always prove it to yourself. Now you wouldn't be able to prove it to the world, I guess.
Yeah, it's the same thing with like heaven. There's no proving heaven, but people still believe that that's a thing. It's just based off of what you truly want to believe.
Yeah, I mean, if this is your religion, do you, dog? I guess.
I was about to say. So
I ain't gonna stress it.
That's why when some people get upset over it, like my boss got upset. I was like, that's the point of what people in my modern science, and I like modern science, but I'm able to see past it. People stick to modern science because they think they can prove everything. But the second that something comes up that they can't prove, it's stupid. It's not worthwhile. Yeah, I think it's stupid to try to figure out how the world was created billions of years ago. But y'all tried it. Y'all tried it. I don't see who that was really helping discovering that. But
that could help you. That could help a lot of things.
So it's a simulation. It's like a few of my examples. It's been 3 key points that me and my coworkers talked about stuff. And like, this isn't super secret stuff by any means, but this is stuff that is out of the ordinary that has happened right back to back. One key example is Call of Duty. We were talking like, bro, you remember back in the day when the games they come out every year and they was actually good and shit all, and then we were talking, it was just like, yeah, this game actually bombed. They need to do that now because the newest call, I don't even know the name of that shit, but
Vanguard.
That shit bombed. They're still in season 0. They don't have a round-based zombies map after 6 months.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't play it because it looks like shit.
Yeah.
But.
It bombed so badly, and so we're just talking about maybe they should go back to releasing one every 2 years. Like, that's probably what they need to do. There's been before the announcement dropped, and this is what the announcement dropped, that I'm pretty sure Treyarch is taking a year off. So Modern Warfare 2 is coming out. Hey, that's a whole different thing. Them niggas know they need to rename that fucking series. Modern Warfare 2 is coming out. And after that, it's going to be a year before Treyarch drops their next thing. It's mighty funny that them niggas have not skipped a year since, I think, fucking 2009, maybe 2008. They've been releasing Call of Duty.
Since Black Ops 2. Black Ops, after that, that's when they went to the once a year formula.
But even before then, it was I think Black Ops 1. Because it was MW3, Black Ops 1. No, Black Ops 1, MW3, Black Ops 2.
No, because in between Black Ops 1 and MW3, there was a year.
Really?
For sure.
Huh.
I didn't have Black Ops 1.
Me neither.
And then I had Black Ops 1 for a whole year. And then I got and then MW3 came out.
I had MW2 a year or two after it came out, and then I was still playing that through Black Ops. So like I got my mileage out of MW2. So I guess I didn't realize that there was a year in between. Mm-hmm. But it's the biggest coincidence, and I've never spoke to nobody about it because it slipped my mind. It's actually been so long. I'm more used to them releasing them than not. It's kind of funny in our lifetime. I think Call of Duty's been in our lives more than it hasn't, to be for real at this point. But we had this off-brand talk, and then like literally 3 days later, they have announced, you're fucking me. It's a great, to everybody's point, well, they were going to do that anyway. You said the game sucked. You said they needed to do it. Plenty of games sucked before.
But people have been calling for them to do that for years now.
Yeah.
I think they just finally got the message. I just think Vanguard bombed so bad and they put so much money into it.
And that bitch is doing bad. But the game after so I'll never forget that Ghost did bad. It sold okay, but I remember the servers was dead. But the game after Ghost, I can't fucking think of the name. I didn't buy the shit.
That's Black Ops 3 after Ghost.
No, I think
Infinite.
Infinite Warfare.
Infinite Warfare, I think.
That shit bombed.
Yeah, and then they went back to the drawing board a little bit.
But like they still did yearly. Like it was still back
but
to back.
But they also kind of went back to. Went back to boots on the ground.
Yeah, which they did have a good success. I mean, like I see the argument. And that is true. That's one of my many. We were talking about Cyberpunk before. Cyberpunk is a big thing, but it kind of went dormant. And this is one of those things that we were talking. Yeah, this is what they needed. This is what, and I shit you not, it was that night when it re-released. Cyberpunk, new DLC, re-released again. You're fucking me. To some people,
well, they had to save that money, dog. They had to save that. But there was so much hype on that motherfucker.
Yeah, bro, that new patch making me think, damn. When that bitch going, I'm gonna have to get that motherfucker. Now, I'm not saying that in my simulation theory that I came up with it. It's more me saying that it's funny that my mind connected right before it dropped. That's where my theory. Even if I wouldn't have said it out loud, that announcement still would have went out. I forgot what fucking day it was. February 19th.
Okay. Here's a theory that's piggybacking off of your theory, but it's not the same shit.
Yeah.
All right, what if maybe all our brains are connected in like a Wi-Fi, right? And it's not a computer, nothing like that. It's just like the fact that we all have consciousness and we all can think. Our brains are a lot more powerful than we think they are. So maybe if a whole bunch of people are thinking the same thing, then things happen. If that makes sense.
It makes sense. My favorite go-to phrases were on the same wavelength, and so.
But this whole theory is that.
And so, I'm good with that. Look at you. So you went above simulation to where our minds are pretty much a cloud of intelligence.
Well, I just kind of believe in that, like, because in a weird way, it's like I've experienced it so many times, even with you. When you're at a party and things are going south, and everybody, like a few people notice it at once, y'all can kind of look up and be like, "Hey," you know what I'm saying? And y'all didn't. There was no words exchanged. Nothing's happened quite yet, but you can just feel that vibe, right?
Yep.
I think maybe, just maybe, there's some voodoo going on. You know what I'm saying,
bro? If it's not that, it's simulation for me. Because to your party example, I remember this high school party I went to, and so I went to the bathroom, and this fight broke out. For no reason, I started fighting too. It was my mans in between. It was my mans in between. It was no.
You had to fight.
It's so out of character for me just to step in and just to start. Don't get me wrong, I do want to fight just because. But it was so out of character for me just to start swinging for the hell of it. But I felt so compelled in that minute. And like, I felt like it was my destiny to scrap with them niggas. And it was just like, as we left and whatever, bro, you had my back. So, not even it was you. I started noticing in between the fight what was going on. And so I recommitted 100%. But like, or laughing, and I'm not even gonna hold you talking about. It was like, it's kind of dead ass scary to me, bro. And I've never done it since. What the fuck made me do that? Or
bro, your homie's brain was like, "Hey, dog."
That, or when somebody dies, you can feel it in a way, because like some people know when you just been something. I've seen plenty of like murder shows where it was like I decided to visit them one day. I don't normally do it, but I just felt I had to go see them, and they come back and it's a corpse. It's just like, they must have been off the grid too long. Must have been off the server too long. You must have known that they deconnected or something. It was just like, it's weird stuff like that. To your point, and I remember I made this point last time, I think it's funny when two people think of each other out the blue. Not saying like it's not normal, but like if we both can say,
I've been thinking about you.
Yeah, like there's been times where old girlfriends that I've had called me literally the day that I just thought of them the first time in years, or text me, "Hey," and it's like, whoa. But like I had every opportunity to think before and maybe not do that, but it's the one day that I've thought of you. You text me, so that means we thought of each other at the same time.
Yeah.
That's the type of coincidences that I just don't believe in. Coincidences, like that's just. I'm not saying that you can't think of nobody, but why didn't she think of me yesterday when I wasn't thinking about her? She was not in my mind yesterday. But I like your idea, but you know, I'm tried and true. It goes into my simulation of it processed to me right before it happened. Same thing with the news breaking. I'm talking right before with no prior or whatever, and it's just like, sure, it could be coincidence. Maybe it's an act of God, but this is my main sticking point too. If a God is controlling us, isn't it just real life sounds anyway?
Well, who says the God's controlling you?
Well, shit, let them Christians tell it.
He could just put you on a. He could have just put you on you know, AI mode. You know what I'm saying? Let the simulation run, because the same because you could put it. The Sims and fast forward, and they'll just do whatever they want to do.
I wanted you to say that. I was like you could do it with the Sims, right? You let them niggas just.
But I'm saying if even if there's a higher being, right? If there's a God, if you know whatever,
yeah,
and he's letting the simulation run, are you not still living your life the way you want to live your life if he's not interacting with it?
That goes into a weird thing. I guess my flip back to you is, if you do that on a game, Sims, are you not playing? Or would you consider yourself not playing the game? Like, not nothing deep, just, are you...
No, I'm just letting the game play out. And I'm not actually playing the game.
I was about to say
so, in a way, even if this all is just a simulation, and if you read into the Bible a little bit, it kind of is just a simulation.
And that's what I was about to say. My thing is, I think we are on autopilot, but let the Bible dictate it. If a guy comes in and intervenes at any given point for any given reason, like any reason that he wants, to punish people, to help people, well, that's what makes it a simulation. That's what makes it a game, because you intervene. Like you didn't leave it on autopilot. You intervened.
Well, can it be both?
No.
I think it can be both. I don't think it's a zero-sum game. No pun intended.
I think the game can be simulated.
Well, can it be both? Can you let it go on autopilot and then hop on and be like, hey, I don't want this here. I don't want you to do that. Let's do this.
It will still forever be a game.
Now, if I'm running run for half the day.
If you let it run, it's just the simulated game. It's just simulating itself.
Hey.
And I do see what you mean, because when we used to get bored, me and Eric used to let 2K run and let them play or whatever. But at the end of the day, the 2K was not the real thing. Like, it's weird to explain. And this isn't me trying to backtrack on the point, but 2K will forever be the game. We just put it in simulation mode. Mm-hmm. That's what I'm trying. God has forever got the game of life. If it's on, hell, he's immortal. If he put this bitch on simulation for 1,000 years, he put it on simulation for 1,000 years. But for the fact that there's the option of, fuck it, these niggas ain't doing shit right.
hey, sometimes when you're playing The Sims and the house catch on fire because they left the candle on, you gotta be like, God damn it. You know what I'm saying?
That's the point. For the fact that there's the option, these fucking niggas, they gonna burn up in the fucking house.
I'm just saying,
Or I want the heart back to before Moses freed the slaves. These niggas done got enslaved. Fuck. now I need to fucking spread this water for these niggas to get past.
He just gave him cheat codes for a while, man. He gave him the GTA cheat codes.
But yeah, it's weird when I started thinking of religion, and this would be my closing point. That's what added credence to my simulation. Because, well, heck, we've been talking in terms of games. For me, simulation is just when there's a person who's controlling up top. It don't have to be game style. If there's somebody influencing it, it kind of makes it simulated.
Okay. Here's another. Maybe it's not like Sims, and like we're actually being controlled. Maybe it's like an MMORPG. You know what I'm saying? Where like, there's some NPCs, angels, right? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Non-playable characters.
I don't know. There's a lot of background ass niggas who I think are NPCs. I don't know.
Maybe it's boring ass niggas. He's boring ass players.
I was about to say, it surprised me. I talked to a brat girl nigga one day and he had sex. I thought you just go home. I thought you just go home and repeat the next day. I never thought of you having a life.
Like I said, I think it's an MMORPG. Like there's some characters that you can't play. You know what I'm saying? Every now and then you go on the quest, and they give you some god mode, some god mode shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But for the most part, it's a choose-your-own adventure game. It's just the most expansive MMORPG of all time.
Basically. I guess we could look at it like this. God is the guy who created the software. He's not the guy playing the game. He's the guy who created the software. Somebody else could be playing the game.
You playing the game.
Maybe so. I was about to say,
if you're the character in the MMORPG, then you're playing the game.
Yeah, basically. Could be Jesus too.
I think he dropped him in. There's an NPC there.
He's the most famous NPC
of all time. You know what I'm saying? He was DLC for this motherfucker.
His name was Jesus. That was the first time. Man, if I don't drop nothing in that bitch, they gonna enslave each other again.
Hey, you in, dog.
Ooh.
That's funny.
We've had
All
good
right.
laughs, but yeah, I need to start writing this stuff down. But I don't know, it just gets creepy when you're fucking me, bro. I'm gonna stop thinking shit. Ooh,
I think we got pretty far on your simulation theory.
bro. The more the days go by, and the least that I can explain shit, government or simulation, is one of the two. I know the government ain't after my dumb ass yet.
All right. You want to talk? Are we going nuclear? Pun intended.
Guess so.
Okay. Nuclear, pun intended.
And this may run for the rest of the show because
It probably is.
I have a bunch. I have a bunch of different conspiracies.
Me too.
And I don't really believe in too many. I believe in all of them equally, which kind of makes me not believe in any of them. But
I think they're all true. But
Yeah.
go ahead.
how to phrase this? Putin, the war in Ukraine, is a big conspiracy in itself. Number one, I would call it is me and a coworker was talking. We believe that there's a possibility that Putin and Trump intended for him to get elected for his second term. What the missing factor is what he would have done in his second term, but I feel like he would have he would have helped Russia in some, he would have backed Russia in a way, and or sold us out in a way. Maybe make us want to go after Ukraine just in general, but something.
But you know, Trump wanted Ukraine to investigate Biden and his son, and Ukraine said, "We're not getting into your shit. Y'all figure that out." So, therefore, I think Trump would have had a vendetta against Ukraine, and Russia had already invaded Crimea and annexed Crimea, and I'm pretty sure that happened the first year of Trump, right?
I didn't think so.
Yeah. So, and the U.S. let that shit slide. The world let that shit go.
There was no mention of it really, unless she was really in the shit.
Yeah, like while it was going on, there was news about it. As soon as it ended, there was no repercussions for that shit. A little suspicious.
And so, whatever the master plan was, Trump losing was not part of the plan. Joe Biden went and put a huge monkey wrench into the proceedings. And so we could fast forward to now, mainly the basis. So there's a couple of bases, but why now? Why didn't Putin attack 2 years ago? Just
I have a theory. It's a little small theory. There's a theory that China asked Russia to not invade Ukraine until after the Winter Olympics.
Which makes complete, because they're kind of allied with each other. So,
and that jumps into another theory that Putin had this all planned out, right? His plan was that he was going to, because right now we're tanking their economy. We're kind of fucking them up.
Bro, I want you to finish. I'm not going to look, because this is one of the other conspiracies. I would say 2 or 3 that's not involved with this one, but
so right now there's a whole bunch of sanctions on them. We're in the process of banning oil and gas from Russia. We already banned a whole bunch of stuff. 10 states has banned Russian vodka from coming in. There's a whole lot of shit. We're kind of fucking their economy. But there's a theory that Putin and China had already met up and made a deal of, hey, we're going to do this. Will y'all still back us? Will y'all still do business with us? And also, there's talks of Putin getting in contact with Kim Jong-un or Il, which one is it? Whatever, and getting those things, squared away and doing more business with them. So that's the end of my little spiel on that.
We're going to call that number 2. Putin being the master plan at number 2. With my number 1. With number 1, Trump losing, monkey wrench into the plans. Why didn't he do it sooner? And this attack looks sloppy. The soldiers do not want to be there. Not gonna lie to you. They fucking proved me wrong. I thought Russians was fucking I thought them niggas was all the fucking boxers from Rocky.
Well, I think it's different. But I think that's with any war. You have to have something that everybody can rally behind. No one really wants to be in Ukraine.
That's part of my plan number 2. No, bro, let me finish with one because number 2 might be it because it's fire. So, like, the niggas don't care. Bro, I seen a video of a fucking farmer towing a Russian tank. Them niggas don't have enough gases for their tank. Like, they did not plan this through to fucking drive these tanks that guzzle gas.
I think what it is that they thought they'd be able to steamroll these motherfuckers, right? And they wouldn't need all this gas. Because they could just roll in this bitch.
We intercepted some calls where 2 things are happening. Some people didn't even know they were going to war. They thought they were just enrolling in the military. And some people said that the government said that they were going to roll over. The Ukrainians wasn't going to attack. I can tell people all the time, and this is my greatest example, if you're locked in a cage with Mike Tyson in a death match, you're not going to get much, but I'm at least going to spit on him before he kills me. I'm at least. Like, that's just, nobody's going to just roll over. Yeah.
Even if the Ukrainian government rolled over or whatever, they decided, hey, we're not going to fight you, whatever, take whatever.
Yeah.
The people who live there are going to push back.
And
there's no way they're not.
And their little bit of resistance, I consider spitting in the face. Like, they're not really swinging. They made Molotovs, so they fucking some soldiers up, but they're fucking a soldier up. I saw this one nigga bum brush a nigga with an AR, almost take his AR, but he just got hit. The soldier just hit him in the head and knocked him out. Man, that nigga almost disarmed you. Like it's small stuff like that, but it's like, bro, them niggas actually turned serious. There's not too much resistance that can go on, but I respect it. They gonna let. If they get taken over, the history books are going to show that we weren't no bitches. Like, that's just dead ass.
And, this is not part of the conspiracy, but, like, them niggas in Ukraine, some real niggas.
They've been preparing this for 4 years also.
Yeah, ever since their annexation of Crimea, they've been kind of ready.
So, but that's number 1. There was a grand master plan, but Biden winning fucked up the plan. So in general, it doesn't matter what Biden does. He was the clear-cut favorite in this conspiracy because we don't know what would have happened if Trump would have made it. But to your number 2 of this all a grand master plan, this grand master plan stems on the soldiers who don't care. You wonder what would make a person care when you start sanctioning a city. When companies start not including Russians, like, and I'm talking like stupid stuff. WB Network don't broadcast to Russia. Netflix doesn't broadcast to Russia anymore. X, Y, and Z doesn't do this with Russia. They're not doing the civilians did nothing wrong. The civilians are actually innocent. But do you know how you piss people off? When you punish them when they did nothing wrong.
Yeah, and that's my biggest criticism of all the sanctions and companies is like. I would completely understand if you punished the Russian government, even the rich of the rich in the country. If you punish the oligarchs, if you punish them, that's fine. But when you punish the little man, now it's just as wrong as blowing up a children's hospital in a way.
You're giving me a reason to want to go to war now. Because you're already backing me into a corner. You're already sanctioned us. You're already doing X. I might as well fight now.
But in the defense of the sanctions, this is kind of the most that they can do without starting World War III.
But the problems, and this has been the problem of sanctions in general. They're just causing another Germany. Regardless of and what's worse is these sanctions won't even really affect the civilians until like 10 years from now when it really hits them. So if Putin,
they can always lift the sanctions. They can always lift sanctions. You don't have to keep them on.
True. But if Putin doesn't, if whatever he has planned now does not succeed, that's going to hurt the economy. And well, her sanctions is already going to hurt them at least a little bit. And so. This is how Germany in World War II. Well, shit, this is how Germany in both world wars get started. If you hurt people enough, they tend to realize I don't have Fuck it. What more do I have to lose? You cannot put people in the mindset of what more do I have to lose, because that means they have everything to gain, and we're starting a power. Maybe it's what happened after the Putin regime. This might be the catalyst for the next World War III 20 years from now.
Or at least another Cold War.
Yeah.
Bare minimum, another Cold War.
I think we're in the midst of Cold War anyway.
I think we never left it, but
Yeah. So
let's be honest. We never left the Cold War.
True.
But
So my phase number 2, Putin's master plan. He knew his people wasn't going to be into it. So he sent people over there half-assed, this and that, knowing that he was going to get sanctioned. Pretty much he knew that the world will turn against Russians. And eventually, the average civilian man is going to get pissed. The average Russian man who just wants to go to work and provide for his family is going to get pissed that he just can't do it. Now, I guess it could backfire on Putin and he gets pissed at the government, but eventually I'm going to get pissed off Netflix. What the fuck from my American point of view, what the fuck does Netflix pulling out of Russia does? I guess you're standing in solidarity with Ukraine, but what are you really doing?
yeah, what do you how are you really gonna hurt Russia? And I think that's a little OD, but I also understand why people will feel weird about them still broadcasting there. If that makes sense.
I get what you're saying.
But at the same time, it's still OD.
I get exactly what you're saying, but this is my problem in business. America's nothing but a big business, and the main failure of business is niggas always want to overreact to please people. You work in the kitchen. I bet when you've served important people, oh my God, we need to do this, make sure this and that. We do that normally, nigga. How I get past all this, if you treat everybody like the president, you won't ever be blindsided when he comes in. Because if you do your job 100%,
there's none.
Yeah, you shouldn't have to put it on.
Yeah, you should. Exactly.
So, damn, I like that so much I forgot where I was going with it. Oh yeah, America's a big business. So we overreact, and it's just like, you know what we need to do? We need to pull out of Russia. When, for me, why didn't y'all pull out when we learned of that motherfucking dictator? Putin has been who he has for the better part of 20 years?
But he's been elected each time. So we all know.
We know what's
but
going
we
on.
cannot necessarily punish because he has nuclear bombs.
True. So, and that's my main. I remember taking world history in 12th grade. If y'all hear me in the Lynchburg City Schools areas, don't do it. That shit was stupid. But my world history teacher, I asked him, this is no bullshit. This is not me hyping up for the podcast. Something. Do you think he's gonna start World War III? And he told me, I wouldn't be surprised if he did it tomorrow. And that's just how he felt about Putin. He's and he was like, he's unhinged, but he's a smart guy. There's no telling. I wouldn't be surprised if he started a war tomorrow. But this is the war that he's talking about. That's ironically, took about 7 years. I was in high school for about 7 years. So it's like we're on a day by day basis of just don't know what this nigga's gonna do. So this kind of feeds into cancel culture and the fake woke mentality. Bro, I'm not for that, bro. Y'all niggas overreacting. Oh, let's pull this and then we stand. If you wanted to make a stand, you should have pulled that bitch out when the nigga invaded the other spot. But
Crimea,
but y'all
which
ain't
was
do
a part
that.
of Ukraine.
But y'all ain't do that because it wasn't cool to be woke. It's cool to be woke, but it's cool to be woke.
I think some companies did do this kind of stuff, and I think we did put some sanctions on Russia, but they got lifted fairly quickly, and then everything went back to normal.
Yeah.
Because what happened was Ukraine was like, all right, bro, whatever, y'all can have it. We'll let y'all have it.
Yeah.
To try to appease them, which I get why you would do that as Ukraine.
Yeah.
But God damn it, I had a good point to make. Now I forgot it.
If we don't come up with it, there's a third plan in this.
Go ahead and go to the third.
This is the real far-fetched one, but my coworker approached it to me. I'm gonna miss the key details when you ask me to fill them in because I'm just not gonna remember. But he believes that this is a whole conspiracy, and Trump getting elected would have helped because his main basis of this is everybody's back to work. Nobody's wearing a mask because kind of as a society we decided we don't care about COVID no more, right? Still wear my mask. I don't trust you niggas. I just don't. But is that a fair assessment? Don't you feel that it seems like people where I work at, 95% of the bankers don't wear a mask. Mm-hmm. Like they came back and just decided we're over COVID. Like the shit doesn't exist. I kind of find it kind of funny. Have you seen any death tolls recently? Have you heard of anybody famous, anybody that you know having COVID recently?
Well, my theory on the whole COVID thing and why, like, you know, Omicron was the thing. Everybody fucking caught it.
Yeah, true.
So, like, and I also kind of feel like Omicron wasn't as deadly as the other ones.
They did say that. Like, that's not a feeling. They did say that.
Yeah, it's just not as... it just wasn't as deadly as the other ones. That was way more contagious.
Yeah.
But I just feel like everybody caught it, and now it's like, okay.
Which is a perfectly good reason, but it feels like just all the talk of COVID just ended when Putin did this. And so
I think it's just that us as Americans have a short attention span, and COVID already held our attention span for 2 fucking years.
Held our attention span. That shit was killing niggas. I get what you mean.
It was the news for 2 years. It was our everyday lives for 2 years. Yeah. This is some new exciting shit.
I saw a Twitter post where it was like something. Yeah, y'all niggas decided to believe in COVID, and under it was like, nigga, millions of people died. Like you make it seem like that bitch was fake. Yeah. But and he had good points, but this is the weakest one of them all. That is just like raise the gas prices rising. Oh, good way to send people to war when them gas prices rise, and we've created a natural threat, aka, you know, Russians attacking or whatever. Good time to send people to war, and them damn gas prices will drop. X, Y, and Z. Pretty much the pattern of us sending people to war like that. Yeah, it will jumpstart it
for sure. And but the thing is that the gas prices going up literally has nothing to do with the government.
No, which is true, but it has nothing to do with the government. But it's
suspicious.
Yeah, it's a good, convenient way to. It's just a track record, and that's why I was like, I had to bring that up. Like when he hit, yeah. I guess it has happened.
It happened before the Iraq War. Not gonna lie to you.
And that was his thing with that's. Circle back to one. That's his master plan on Trump. I don't have a master plan on what would happen. What if Trump would have got elected? He would have sent people to war. That would have been his master plan
for sure.
And so, and I believe the truth lies in the middle. I believe that Putin rushed it, but I believe like this is still a master plan. But and I do believe that I forgot what the third thing was, but I do believe the answer lies somewhere in the middle, because some of this is kind of just suspicious.
So, to get back on the oil thing, oil prices are a conspiracy. Because, you know, everybody thinks that it works on supply and demand, and it does in the fact of when there's low supply, the demand goes up, and the price goes up. But it is artificially controlled. And we know this. There is a cabal of countries and oil producing companies that set the prices of oil. This is a known fact. We all know about it. Well, you can know about it. They have a website. But conveniently, no one ever talks about them because they put a lot of ad dollars into the media.
Whenever the media gets involved, it's a conspiracy straight away. If people pay the media to do X, it's a conspiracy because you're leading people, you're misdirecting people.
And I don't, as a company paying for ad dollars, I don't have to necessarily tell the media, hey, don't run anything negative about me, but it's fucking implied.
That's the huge thing. That's when people get caught. We didn't tell them not to do it. Yeah, that $1 million a year fucking did. that $1 million donation just for fun.
Yeah, that was the So that's why oil prices are going up. That's why oil prices started to go up at the end of when COVID started to get better that first time, and then gas prices went through the roof. That's why it started going up then, because they were trying to make up for all the money that they lost during COVID.
Them niggas, yeah.
And they are still doing it. Now, still on the oil front, it's also a conspiracy because America is the largest oil producing country in the world. And somehow, 90% of our oil does not come to America.
Bro, that American numbers be pissing me off because, like, I know that, and it's like, that's complete bullshit. Or, like, these two things can't be true. America can't be the richest country, but the most in debt. You cannot have.
Well, the government can be in debt, but the people aren't in debt. That's the difference. That's where the difference lies. The government owes money. You can still have the richest people on the planet living in your country, but the government can owe money because that's a separate entity. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so you put a whole. I'm about to say, like, I can't be the richest nigga in the party with $500, but I got $1,000 tab. Like that just doesn't.
I mean, what do the other people's tabs looking like? Maybe they bought a lot of bottles of Hennessy. You know what I'm saying?
I was about to say, so that's why it's like that oil thing, like that stuff like that pisses me off. We're the largest fucking oil place, but we get 90% everywhere. Something. I wouldn't be surprised if it's a lie somewhere in there. It's like
those are as far as we know, those are the actual numbers. Like, we are the biggest producer.
Yeah.
It is simply because it is more cost effective for them to ship the oil somewhere else.
And them niggas, bro. I swear to God.
Instead of giving it to America. Now, this is gonna lead into my our next episode. Hint, hint. But this is why I think certain things should be off the table as for companies. I don't think natural resources like water, air, electricity should be privatized. And if they are privatized, should be heavily regulated.
Yeah.
Same with oil. If it's being drilled in off of U.S. owned land, then it should belong to the U.S. people.
100%. I 100% agree with that.
Fair enough. But that's a little off topic. But we'll get into that in our next episode.
This was a great Conspiracies 3. Like always, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe.
And they're out to get you. We out.
We out.